In previous lesson, we learned how to use external CSS. We defined styles in separate CSS file, and we made a connection between HTML and CSS file. Today, we'll talk about two more ways how to add styles on the web page. That's internal and inline CSS. First, let's see how to use internal CSS. When we add styles internally on the web page, we need to use HTML tags in head section of web page. First, we need to add a style tag. Then we need to define inside the style tag type attribute, and type attribute is text CSS. And now we can define elements that we want to style. But for now, we don't have added elements. So let's add one h1 element and one paragraph inside the body of index.html file. Okay, well, we can save file and see content of the page in the browser. And this is content of the page with h1 tag and paragraph. Okay, now we can add styles for h1 element and paragraph inside the style tag. And there are many ways how to select elements that we want to style. And because we don't have added class or ID attribute on elements, in this case we can use CSS Element Selector. To use CSS Element Selector, simply we type h1 because we want to add styles for h1 element. And inside the curly braces, let's add some styles. For example, we can add color, and we can change margin from the left, let's say 40 pixels. And also on the same way, let's add styles for paragraph. Here we can add color red, and also we can add margin from the left 40 pixels. Now if we save file and reload page in the browser, you can see that we changed the styles for h1 element and paragraph, and for that we use internal CSS. Okay, we saw how to use internal CSS, and now let's see how to use inline CSS. When we use inline CSS, that means we can add styles directly on elements, and for that we use style attribute. Okay, let's add some extra styles on both elements, h1 and paragraph. And first we need to add is style attribute, and we add style attribute inside the opening tag. And now we can add some styles. Let's say we can add font size. 30 pixels. And also we can add a border. And on the same way, let's add styles for paragraph. We can add font size 20 pixels. And add the border. 2 pixels solid red. Now if we save file and reload page in the browser, you can see that we added some extra styles, and this time we use inline CSS. In other words, we add styles directly on elements. Like we mentioned, there is 3 different ways how to add styles on elements, and best way is use external CSS. In that case, you have separate CSS file, and your code will be much more organized. But also you can use internal and inline CSS when you don't have many elements to style. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe button. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.